I know there's lots of people out there that have felt like they're just depressed, that they don't know what to do because they just constantly feel like they're trying and they're waking up every day and they're not working towards their calling or working in their calling or working towards something that they feel perhaps passionate and purposeful about. And one of the most difficult things is to live a life that you aren't happy with and live a life that is outside of where you feel like you should be. And the biggest thing that I can say is that depression comes from disalignment. When you feel disaligned in your life and you feel like you are doing something or working towards something that you don't even feel like you are in or you don't feel called to do, you get depressed because ultimately men, and I can speak for myself, men love to be able to work towards something that they feel like they're getting better at every single day. They love to work towards something that they feel like they're improving on and something that has value. And just getting into that, there's so many people nowadays that are in office jobs. There's nothing wrong with office jobs, but people that are forced into these cubicles, forced into these places of um, just complete against their own will because they have to be there. They have to pay bills. They have to do certain things, and they have obligations and they have responsibilities. And there's so many men that are just quiet, passive men because they've been forced into these places, into these cubicles, behind a desk, behind certain things. When as men, we're supposed to take on adventure. We're supposed to really just become alive in what we do, and we're supposed to be active. We're supposed to get out. We aren't meant to just be passive. We aren't meant to just be live this life of complete passiveness and behind a desk where we're just quiet and we just, you know what I'm saying, for those people that want to be those IT developers and they love doing that and they want to be behind the desk and that is actually part of their job, then all good for you. But there's a lot of people out there that are put into places where they don't want to be, and depression comes from the fact that you feel disaligned. You're not aligned to where you should be. You're not aligned to the thing and the calling that you do have. And it's difficult. It's difficult being in that space, and it's frustrating, and that frustration can make you very, very depressed because you start feeling like there isn't a way out. And when you don't feel like there's a way out, you lose hope. And when you lose hope, you don't really have a vision for the future. And men, and I know I thrive for vision of the future. And when you have a vision for the future, then there is hope. But if you're living in this constant cycle of doing something that you don't want to do, and you get home and you're so depressed that you don't even feel like you want to even work on anything else because you just feel like this is all life has to offer. I need to encourage you to find something you can enjoy, find something you can slowly watch yourself get better at, because when you watch yourself get better at something, it builds a lot of momentum, it builds a lot of hope, and it builds a lot of different neural pathways in your mind that you can get better at things and you can do things. And yeah, I want to encourage you that it's not this isn't it. There is actually hope. There is something you can do. You can do anything. Do not spend your life in a place where you are disaligned. You are not in your purpose, because when you're not in your purpose, you're depressed. And when you are selfish, you are also depressed, because there is nothing more depressed than a Christian that is selfish, than a man of God that is selfish, that is just doing his own thing. He's doing his own career. He's working towards his own thing. And yeah, I know we're talking about working towards our own things and ultimately being able to do our own things, but it needs to ultimately serve others, because it's actually quite a selfish feeling giving. Giving is, the Bible says that it's better to give than to receive. And you want to have your purpose so aligned that it doesn't just benefit you, it benefits the kingdom, it benefits those people around you, it benefits a lot of other people around you rather than just yourself. And that is one of the most fulfilling feelings, when you're working towards something that you love to do, but it's not just benefiting you, it's benefiting those around you. And that's ultimately where the happiness comes from. That's where the fulfillment comes from, is when you know that you're working towards something that is greater than yourself. And I think there's just a lot of people that need to wake up and really just find out what there is they want to do with their lives and try new things, because so many people are scared to fail. So many people are scared that, this is not going to work out because it's too big of a risk. Take the risk, especially to the young audience. Take the risk now, because it's not going to get easier when you get a wife, when you get kids, when you get to a place where you actually need to pay for certain things. You have obligations, you have responsibilities. Take those risks now. Because you're going to look back and you're going to be looking at regret and think, why didn't I take that risk? Why didn't I do what I said I was going to do? Why did I just stay in this job? Why did I stay in this place where I'm just completely unhappy and I'm waking up every day and I'm actually just dreading the whole week because I have to, because I don't have another choice? Get out of it. Immediately get out of it. Find a passion project. Find a martial arts. Find a hobby that you enjoy doing that you can work towards. And then the second thing is get closer to God, because the more you get closer to God, the more you know what it is you should be doing, and it will be connected to the kingdom and the kingdom purpose. It will be connected to other people. Um, how can you know your purpose if you don't even know the person that formed you, the person that created you? Who better on this earth and in this universe that knows you better than the person that created you, or the God that created you? So just remember that. Always keep that in mind, because it's depressing walking in a place where you feel like you haven't been called for it, and God is calling you for more, and you're too scared to step out. You need to step out. You need to step out, because there's many times where I've been scared to step out, and because I didn't step out, I lived in the same place for a long time, and you're wasting time. You're gonna look back 5, 10 years from now, and you're gonna be like, wow, I should have stepped out a long time ago, but I didn't because I was too scared, and I didn't try that thing because I was too scared. And I feel like God's calling me to something, but I was too scared, so I just decided not to do it. Um, and it's just sad to see that there's so many people that dread the whole day, and they cope with these vices like drinking, drugs, um, sex, girls, whatever it is, that they cope with these things because they're so miserable in their day-to-day lives that there's no true fulfillment in what they're actually doing. And you might say, Connor, how do I, as I said, how do I start? How do I start chasing fulfillment? You have to come to your creator. You have to spend time in the presence of God. You're not going to figure it out always by yourself. Well, at least for me, I didn't figure it out by myself. I didn't figure out what I really enjoyed doing until I actually spent time with God, until I started praying, until I started asking, until I started seeking, I started finding. um, so yeah, a lot of the anxiety and the depression you feel comes from the fact that you're not operating in the calling that God has for you. And there's one thing that you're suffering and you're going through a bit of a season because God is calling you to something, but then you're suffering for the right reasons. But if you're suffering and you're depressed because you're in a job that you don't want to be in and you're too scared to step out and you're too scared to do the thing that you want to do, that's a different story. Or the pain and the suffering of doing what you need to do and you're not getting the results instantly, that's a better type of suffering to have. um, so yeah, guys, I really hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching, and I hope it was meaningful to some of you.